somewhere now. You up now, I see you, I get you. Take care now, slow down, be cool, I miss you. Come here now, it's yours now. Keep it, I'll hold on until now. I need you right now. Once I leave you, I'm strung out. If I get you, I'm slowly breaking down. And oh, it's hard to say, but I wish you were right here. Oh, it's hard to leave you when I get you everywhere. All this time I'm thinking we could never be a pair. Oh no, I don't need you, but I miss you. Come here.
Hello and welcome to Master of None. My name's Erin. I'm 24 and I live in New York. I'm kind of gonna keep this short because these little video journals are kind of for me, but I'm posting them to hold myself accountable and so I can see them somewhere that's not my phone, so it's not taking up storage space and all that fun stuff, you know what I mean? But basically I'm gonna give a little background of the title of why I named this series Master of None, and kind of what I'm gonna be showing and talking about on this channel. Basically, I named it Master of None because I'm a multi-passionate human being, as most people are, but I'm a writer, I'm a photographer, and I'm also a videographer, and I direct some a lot of things. So I do music videos. I'm working on a documentary right now, but I named it Master of None because when I was younger and I would say I wanted to do all this stuff, people would always be like, oh, she's a jack of all trades. And then I actually heard the saying for myself, and it was jack of all trades, master of none. And then later in life, I heard the rest of the saying, jack of all trades, master of none, but always better than a master of one, which is I don't know, it's a positive spin on that. So I named it Master of None because of that, because it's kind of documenting all my passions, but also because it's kind of just self-aware and me being hey, I don't have all the answers. I don't know what's going on. I'm almost halfway through my 20s. And I think that's very just candid and something I want to capture with my video diaries. Kind of what I want to be doing on here though is first and foremost, documenting my media. I love tracking all my media, books that I'm reading, video essays I've been watching, essays I've been reading. I've been getting so into reading writers who are my age on Substack, because I have my own Substack, but I just have been reading everybody else, and I'm you guys are so smart. I love reading other 20 somethings just writing on Substack in hopes that somebody will find them. So that's really fun. So yeah, I don't know, I want to read maybe 2 to 3 essays a week. I want to write 1 Substack post a week, which is kind of what I was doing last year, but I took a little break, which is fine. I plan to give myself grace with this. I don't plan to be extremely rigid. I have a history with being really rigid with myself and getting down on myself when I don't meet goals, even when something has happened, or I've learned how to give myself compassion over the time that I've lived in the city, and I'm going to continue to give myself compassion, and I'm going to continue to love myself regardless of what I get done, because productivity is not the only thing I have to offer the world. I'm going to track the books that I read. My hope and prayer is to read 50 books this year, so nearly a book a week, but I'm giving myself some room. Also, I'm going to be compassionate towards myself there. Sometimes you just don't feel like reading. Sometimes you get into a reading slump. And then video essays, I'll watch them when I can. I'm not a big podcast person, which is why I like video essays, or documentaries and stuff like that. But my hope is honestly just to learn as much as I can, expand my vocabulary, just become a smarter, kinder, more empathetic person than I already am. And yeah, I want to track a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. I obviously, I said that I write on Substack, but I also get pieces published. I'm going to be applying to fellowships and doing stuff like that. And I also want to just vlog my days. So my intros will be kind of video snippets of my days, but also like I'll vlog when I'm out with my friends, or whenever it feels right. I'm not going to separate myself from the world in order to document my life, because I'm trying to document my life in the world. Also, another goal of mine for this is to kind of just record no matter how I look. Over the past few years, I've been like, I look how I look. Some days I'm gonna think I look gorgeous. Some days I'm gonna think I look like I need to drink more water, and that's like literally fine. So that's my goal, is to, and more than that, another goal of mine is to get on camera and not, and resist the urge to be like, oh, excuse my hair, or excuse this, excuse that, because if I come on here and accept myself as I am, that's the only thing that matters. I don't know, I want to document my growth. It's taken a while to get to like kind of where I am. So yeah. Also, I want to document my journal entries. I'm not going to be sharing all my journal entries. That's not something I want to do. A lot of my journal entries are extremely personal. They have to do with things that I'm working through, things I'm trying to get better at. I'll give descriptions. Like this year I want to work on communication with the people I love. I want to work on the relationship with my family members. I want to work on my self-confidence, all that kind of stuff. But I won't. Some of the prompts are specific to me and my situations. But I'll give prompts that I like, that I think kind of go with everybody, that they can be blanket prompts that anybody can answer. I am reading something right now. I'm reading Nataska Nova by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I'm a Dostoevsky lover, so I'm trying to read a lot of works by him, and I picked up Nataska Nova. I'm on page. It's not that big of a book, but I'm on page 138, and there's 172, so I'm gonna finish it tonight. This is what I've said for myself. I'm going to finish it tonight because I want this to be done. My next book is The Will to Change by Bell Hooks. I've heard some things about All About Love by Bell Hooks. I've heard people say that it's like extremely profound and it's life-changing and whatever. And I've also heard people say that it's like really not that deep. And Bell Hooks is kind of just saying what everybody knows already. So I have no intention, no plan at all to read all about love. I don't find it necessary to read about love and relationships, because honestly, that's something that you learn over time through your relationships with people. And you lose people because of the way you act in relationships. They lose you because of the way they acted in the relationship, and you learn from those experiences, and you apologize and you move on, and those are not your people. You can't learn something like that through writing. So that's my take. If anybody wants to challenge that, like, that's fine, and I'm open to conversation, but that's what I believe. But The Will to Change, I wanted to pick it up last year because I was working on a photo exhibition called This Is Intimacy, Isn't It? Where it started with people when they're young and kind of like how they grow up to experience intimacy as an adult. So there was a part of that exhibition that I was going to call Boyhood, and obviously I'm not a man, so I didn't know anything about boyhood or how men love. Also, I've never been in a relationship, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick this up. The Will to Change Men, Masculinity, and Love. It's kind of like talking about the patriarchy and how that affects the way men love, and things like that. So that's why I picked it up, and I saw it in Barnes & Noble a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I'm just gonna get it. I'm gonna read it anyway, even though I'm not working on that exhibition anymore. And I think this is a little more up my alley. So the next one is The Will to Change by Bell Hooks. It's also a short one. So yeah, that's all I have. That was my intro. It's kind of long. I'm gonna chop it up, but I'm gonna finish Nataska Nova tonight. Hopefully I can give a review on here. And then I'm gonna start The Will to Change by Bell Hooks. But right now, I think I'm gonna like separate my laundry or something. And I think I might eat. I'm putting you guys on my, what is this? My buzz box. Hopefully I can get this done. The lighting kind of eats right now. Wait, what if I redid it? Hey guys, it's January 3rd and I finished Nataska Nova. This is so cute of me. Anyway, let me read you guys the quote that convinced me to read this book. And then I read it on page 20 and then proceeded to have the worst time. Should I add? I'm gonna add. Okay, I'm gonna cut this and put this before, but guys, when I read this, I'm going to add the music so you can really like have that feeling of why I read this book. So this is the quote. I'll also put it on the screen for your viewing pleasure. It says, "You sense that you should be following a different path, a more ambitious one. You felt that you were destined for other things, but you had no idea how to achieve them. And in your misery, you began to hate everything around you. But you didn't waste those 6 years. You studied, you thought, you became aware of yourself and your strengths. Now you're able to understand art and your vocation in art. You need patience and courage, my friend. Achievement far greater than mine awaits you. You're 100 times greater an artist than I. If only you had my endurance. Study and stop drinking, as your good landowner said to you, and above all, make a new beginning." Anyway, I give this a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Dostoevsky, I love you to death, but this was really not it. Also, it's an unfinished manuscript by him, so like maybe that's why I don't feel like it's it. But I plan on reading my next Dostoevsky. I plan on reading White Knight, but it better be a 5 out of 5 king, cause I'm upset. I am. Yeah. But yeah, that was my update for today. I don't think I'm doing anything tonight, so I probably won't vlog for the rest of today. But I got out of work early, which is why it's late, which is why I'm like doing this outside. But yeah, that's all I have. My stomach really hurts. Goodbye.
To see you doing alright, I almost died when our hearts said goodbye. Oh, how lovely! You're getting very conquering your fears. I still wish you were here.
I'm a little fed up. This is the like 5th time I've tried to film this, and I just realized that I say like a crazy person. And like nobody was gonna tell me. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do my best this time. I'm locking in. Anyway, it's January 4th. I'm here to recap the Substack posts that I read last night. I read 2 of them. They were beautiful. So I'm here to recap them. I'm here to track my media. Also, this first vlog, it's really feeling like I'm tracking a lot of media and not doing a lot of creative work. That'll change, but it's the first week of January and I'm just trying to like pull my life together. I'm trying to reel it back in from the holidays. So anyway, the first Substack post that I read is called "How Do I Know If I'm in My Own Dream" by Julianne Moore, and it's a part of a series that she does called New York Shitty, and it's about her life in New York City, going out with friends, her romantic relationships, you know, how she feels about this and that, whatever. And it's very similar to the things that I write on my Substack, so every time I read it, I'm like, wow, you're like me, but you live in a different area of the city and you have a different set of friends. So it's fun to read. And it makes me feel like I'm not alone because she seems to have the same anxiety issues. And she's always in her own head. And it's like looking at myself from a different perspective. So it's really fun for me to read. So I'm going to read a little quote. And I will say, I am self-aware. A lot of times when booktubers or book talkers or whatever, they read quotes from the book and they're like, "Oh, this is so good." I'm like, no, it's not hitting for me. And it's because I don't have context. So I would read it so you can get context. But this is the part that stuck with me. And I want to read it to you because I would love to share. Anyway, here it is. "In my dream, I'm the most beautiful girl, and I didn't get braces this year, and my eyebrows were only plucked half the time, but still I was the most beautiful girl. In my dream, I have more patience for myself when I stutter or when I get anxious, since I'll be more joyful more than I'll be anxious, because I'll remember I don't have anything to be sorry for. And I'll live in this dream, hand tucked under an equally cold side of a firm pillow, legs bent in 90 degree, catching my hurting sheep, saliva dancing down cotton. I will dream that I'm in this dream, and that dream is within another dream, dream and another dream and another dream. I will dance to jazz music in the ocean. And I just love that because especially the first part, in my dream, I'm the most beautiful girl. And I didn't get braces this year and my eyebrows were only plucked at the time. It just is very reminiscent of the way that I write. And it's just a straight up stream of consciousness. And I'm like, I love that. I just want to know what's in your brain. I don't necessarily need it to be the most beautiful, gorgeous thing in the world. If it's real and it's raw, it's beautiful to me because it came from you. Anyway, so that's all I have to say about that one. I have a lot to say about this next one, and I'm going to try to rein it in. Okay? Because now I'm starting to stutter. Anyway, the next one is called How Hard Should You Kiss a Woman? Okay, it's by this writer that I found on TikTok, and I'm gonna put the TikTok right here. Pause and read, but I quote the piece all the time, or this snippet all the time, where he says earned, and I thought it was the most beautiful piece of writing I had ever read. I was like, he's great. I recently found his Substack, and I read this post. I'm gonna read the snippet for you, and then I'm going to discuss. But it's about a first date that he went on. So let me read the snippet. I've got a date tomorrow night after a brief bout with celibacy. I called it a long bout at dinner, and my friends laughed at me because it wasn't. I think I was spurred out of it by the sudden rise in early to mid 20-year-old Puritanism I was seeing online. But by that I don't mean the post-election American variant of the 4B movement smothered in its cradle, just generic Puritanism. Calling people sluts for having casual sex, regular programming. I didn't want to be kindred spirits with those types. Is that a laughable motive to claim as a guy? It must be. I've made the unimaginably brave protest, taken the incredibly brave stance of being a man not looking for anything serious. My hair grays with the weight of it. Okay, so when you read this, you're like, you know what? He's self-aware. Like, yeah, he's going on this date because he's being contrarian, which that's a very male thing, whatever. It's an unkind thing to do, period. Because what if this girl's actually looking for something serious? He's aware of himself. So I'm like, you know what? I can deal with this. But by the end, it was giving male photographer who only shoots women because he's so obsessed with the woman form, when in reality, he's just plain old lustful. And this is what this is giving. Like, what his piece was giving was like, oh, I'm a man written by a woman. Like, I want to be devoted to a woman. I'm yearning for this love. JK, I actually just want casual sex. Why I say that is because at the end of it, he reminisces on his ex, and he says that she kissed him once, and it was the most tender kiss ever. It was on his collarbone, and it was kind for the sake of being kind, and it was just an act of love that he had never felt in his life. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. What a tender kiss. Then he goes on to say that he did it to the girl that he went on the date with, but he wasn't sure if he was going to go on a second one. What? I was like, that is just not a kind thing to do. That is so... What are you talking about? You're expressing that you have this yearning to be loved. You're expressing that you want this intimate connection, and then you do that. I don't know. That is basically the gist of what I'm trying to get at, what I'm trying to say when I recap this piece. And it's taken me a long time to kind of gather my thoughts on it, because the entire time I'm reading it, I'm like, this is beautiful prose, but it's just not sitting right with me. Anyway, that was my recap of that. What I will say though is I'm excited to read his work alongside The Will to Change by Bell Hooks, because it's nonfiction. She's talking about the patriarchy, how men learn to love, why they feel they can't love, and then he's talking about the same topics but from a first person perspective. So I'm so excited. I'm like jumping out of my skin excited. Like, anyway, I don't know why that's exciting. Like, it's exciting because I can have that knowledge for myself and learn, but it's not so exciting to know that kind of information as a person who dates men. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna eat dinner. But yeah, see you guys later.
Fast talk, walking on the gas in the car. Cut my hair.
Hi guys, I'm walking to work right now, and if you would have asked me would I be vlogging in the morning at 8 o'clock on the way to work, I would have told you heck no, I would do it after work, whatever. But I'm kind of torn on when to stop this vlog. I wanted to do it like I wanted to do a weekly vlog, and the week's over, so I have to do a little recap. So here's my recap. Hopefully I don't miss the bus while trying to give you guys this recap. The recap is the first week of January went really well. I tried to get into like a nice routine that wasn't me bullying myself into doing the work, you know what I mean? So getting up, getting out, running, journaling, reading, and not trying to do too much all at once, because then I burn myself out. And you know what, I can go at a really fast pace for a long period of time, but then I have to take a long period of time off, and I don't want to do that. I want to just go at a steady pace, you know, balance. We all know what balance is. Anyway, so this week I was getting back into the groove of, or that last week I was getting back into the groove of things. It's Tuesday, January 8th, and I'm gonna end this vlog now. I'm not done with the Will to Change. I'm more than halfway through it, so that's something. And I'm really enjoying it. It's incredible. Bell Hooks writes in a way that is just so simple but so profound. It's beautiful, and I understand every word, and I read it so quickly. She's a beautiful writer, and I want to read all of her works, but I will explain in the next vlog, kind of like do a recap of the book. But yeah, that's the end of this vlog. This morning I ran, and it was 21 degrees outside, and now I'm outside with a wet head. Goodbye. That's how life's going right now.